welcome back to Linda's Kitchen. Today I want to talk to you about some preps that if you are flat broke, these are things that you're absolutely going to need if SHTF happens. But they are readily at hand for free. So today I want to show you how to make a DIY water filter. So then I also want to introduce to you Boogie. I can see your head's half cut off. There you go. This is Boogie. She's going to help me to film this video. This is a little bit more filming than I normally do. I normally set it up on a tripod or I hold the camera myself. But today she's going to give me a help. So these are very important things that I feel like that you're going to need to have at hand. Some people might have them readily available to them, and some people may not. It all depends on where you live and your circumstances. So let me get you set up and we'll get into this video. Okay, so today we're going to learn how to make a DIY water filter. If SHTF happens, the water shortages, the power goes down, there's no running water, we're going to need some way to have drinking water. Sometimes you may even have to resort to getting water out of a mud puddle, out of the river, or out of even the swamps for that matter. Wherever you can find water, that's what you're going to have. You got to have water to survive. You cannot survive without water. Food, you can survive a little bit without. Water, you cannot. So I am using my notes, so bear with me. But so yeah, so let's just get into this. I want to show you some of the things that we got going on here. I went ahead and pre-made out my water filter last night, but I'm going to show y'all what went into it and the steps that it took. We all know that filtering water does not make water drinkable. You have to purify your water. This is just more of a clarifying it up, making it clear, making it taste a little bit better. It by no means purifies your water. Ways you can purify your water is you can, there are chlorine tablets you can use. You can use the bleach method. You can, one way, if you don't have any other resources, if boiling, you can boil your water. Boiling your water is a perfect way of making your water safe to drink. Also, if you have a clear, like for instance, this bottle here, if you were draining off into a clear bottle like this, you could lay it in the sun for 6 to 8 hours and it would purify your water. But I'm going to show you how to make a water filter because you will need to filter your water. So the first thing you're going to need when you start to make your water filter is you're going to need some kind of container. A container that has a screw-on lid preferably. So you're going to get your container, you're going to cut the top off, that way you can put things down into it. The first thing you're going to need to do, I see it's dripping here, I poured just a little bit of water in it, but the first thing you're going to need to do is you can take an old t-shirt or some cheesecloth, cut you a square big enough to cover the lid on your container. For me, this one is just for an example. For me, my plan is, I haven't got it yet, so I made it, printed out a copy of it, is I want to get me like a 2-gallon water jug. It's got the screw-on lid on the end of it. It's got the handle, and I'm also going to use, over here, Boogie. I'm also going to use it with a 5-gallon bucket, where you could cut the top, you could trace the lid onto the bucket, cut out a round circle that you could fit the top down into, and you could put it down in there and then build your filter on top of it. And as you pour your water in, it's going to drip down into the bucket. Sometimes it may take multiple times of running the water through, so you may need 2 buckets. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need is the cheesecloth. I'm sorry, I'm a little all over the place, guys. I'm a little nervous if you can't tell. But you're going to need some cheesecloth, an old t-shirt. anything like that that you can cut a square big enough to go over the circle that you're going to screw your lid onto. It's just one more way of filtering out the sediments that are in your water. The next step is you're going to need some cotton. Gauze, cotton of any kind that you can stuff down into, say, the gooseneck. The neck of the bottle. It's going to be upside down. So you're going to stuff it as much as you can stuff down in there. And that's just one more way of filtering your water. One more barrier for it to filter through. I also have some of these are makeup remover pads. They're made of cotton. That you could also, after you stuff in your cotton like this, you can put a barrier of these on there. Okay, the next step of layering you're going to need, and you don't have, this is activated charcoal. This step, I highly recommend it. You definitely need to, if you could afford to, and they're not that expensive. I think I paid $15, I think, for this 2 pounds of it. But this right here, this absorbs all the chemicals that are left in the water. So that's going to be your next barrier that you want to put in. You're going to start from your finest and work your way up to your biggest barriers. So you want to put your layer of your charcoal. If you don't have the charcoal, you want to put your sand. I have some sand right here. You can get it off the beach, in your backyard, out in your yard. Anywhere you can find sand, you can get you some sand. Or if you want to, like I'm going to do, because I want to make sure that I have all the supplies I need on hand, I went out and I purchased mine, because one, they're not readily available here. You know, if things hit the fan, I might not be able to drive 20 miles to go get my sand or rocks or whatever. So the next barrier is your sand, your fine sand. You want to put about, in a container like this, or you want a couple of inches. If you were going to do the big 2-gallon, then you might want 4 to 6 inches. The more barrier between you and the water that the water has to process through, the more clear your water is going to come out. So after you put your sand in, like I said, your finest on up, you're going to want to put some pebbles. I have pebbles like these. So you put your pebbles. The pebbles, let's see, what do the pebbles do? They filter out larger sediments. So the more larger sediments will get caught up in the gravel, and then the sand will get the smaller and the smaller as you go down. And last but not least, you're going to need rocks. Rocks of some sort. Depending on the size of your container, says what size rocks you might going to need. So for these, I have these little small pebbles. One more barrier between the water and coming out fresh. I didn't say that quite right. But yeah, so I got some muddy water right here. Y'all forgive me, this is not a professional video by no means. I put some little bit of dirt in some water. I'm going to pour this into the water filter, and it's going to take a few minutes before it to trickle out. So we pour some in so you can see. How it filters out. All right, Boogie, click it off. Sorry about that. I'm going to bring you back after the water has made its way through the filter one time. It may be necessary that we have to run it through a few times. Okay, now Boogie. As you can see how the water is coming out pretty clearly. What do I do with that water? Let me pour just a little bit more of this water in. So see how well it filters out your water? You see how murky and dirty that water was? Okay, guys. As you can see, it came out pretty clear. I feel firmly that if I was to take this water and pour it back through one more time, it would look crystal clear. But like I said, we got to purify it, and that would be boiling chlorine tablets, throwing it in the sun 68 hours. But I just wanted to come on here and let y'all know that for me, that's something I want to have readily on hand. I don't want to take a chance of not being able to find what I need. Not only that, when you do get them out of your yard or other places, the sand may not be that clean, the rocks. This way you're in little control of it. You might want to go ahead and run you some water through it a few times just to clear out whether you get them out of your yard or whether you buy them in a store, just to clean them out somewhat. And then I would only use a small amount because water's probably going to be precious. But then your drinking water, run through it. And then boil it, of course. So yeah, I plan to take all my little stuff here, put it in the 5-gallon buckets that I'm probably going to need when the time comes. I also got a chart in case my memory fails me. No, I'm not that young. That lets me know from what order to what order or what I need and so forth. I'm going to drop it down in the bucket. For people that are new prepping or people who just don't, maybe single women, or even, there's plenty of women that know these things, but that doesn't know, they can print it off, put it in their bucket along with their supplies, and have it ready if SHTF happens. SHITF. So, okay, y'all. Sorry this video is so mumbo-jumbo. I'm really nervous doing it. I hope this was helpful for y'all. If so, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to ring the bell so that you can get notified every time I do a live or post a video, so that you don't miss out. Y'all keep on keeping on. And I'll see y'all next time back at Linda's Kitchen.